Good afternoon and welcome. It's time for another episode of Rocky Mountain Gamers. As always, I'm Mark Cameron.
And I'm Mel Babbins.
And we welcome you on this lovely, lovely summer day. What's the weather like near you?
It is smoky. Very, very smoky.
We're getting it too.
Yeah, I mean, it's warm and it should be beautiful if I could see the blue sky, but it's really not super great out there because of the air quality. I feel for anyone who's really impacted by air quality because, like my wife has a ton of bad headaches and whatnot going on right now. It's not comfortable, honestly.
No, it's a little brutal, actually.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Here in Colorado, it's very much the same. Although for once, the wildfire smoke is mostly coming from out of state for us. We've had a lot of rain, so we don't have the fires here, but we have them. We have the smoke coming in from the Pacific Northwest, California, a little bit from Canada. The jet stream's just sucking everything up and dropping it down to us. So
yeah, well, I definitely envy you getting some rain. I don't think we've had rain I can't remember the last time we had rain, and it's destroying the prairies right now. Like there's no, it's a terrible, terrible drought. The farmers are not doing so well right now. So I could do with some of that rain that you guys are having. You guys can send some this way if you feel up to it.
Well, I'll see who I can contact. So now that everybody's tuned in for the Rocky Mountain climate change broadcast, we can start talking about games. We have some interesting stuff this week. Nintendo just put out their annual report, and there's some indie games to talk about. And as always, we're playing with some fun stuff. So we'll get started. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And let's have some fun. So what have you been up to, oh intrepid game hunter?
Well, I guess there's been at least one new and interesting development this last week, and that's the new AquaShift Special Edition Xbox controller. I don't know if you've seen that, but
yeah, it's so pretty.
Very cool looking Xbox controller. And they dropped it, and basically they said, pre-orders are now. And sure enough, within, a couple hours and then within the next day, they were popping up everywhere. So that's a pretty cool looking controller. Currently on sale, probably accidentally, at Amazon for $5 under MSRP. So that's a pretty solid deal right there. I haven't seen an Xbox controller that I haven't liked since the Series X came out. Like I would literally own all of them. They're really killing it. This is another really nice one. So I mean, that's what I've been looking at. We're still in the lull for consoles, but I bet you starting next week or the week after, we might start seeing some PS5s again, and we are way overdue for some Series X. So that could basically be any day.
Some PS5s popped up on Walmart today, I think, but they went real fast.
US. Yeah, I mean, you guys in the US, you have it way better than we do. You got multiple restocks per month. We get one per month per retailer. That's it. So if you miss those, which of course they're easy to miss, but you're waiting another 3-4 weeks. So that's not super fun, but also there's less competition in Canada too. I've still noticed that, they went up at Walmart today in the US and they were gone fast.
Yeah, they just went out.
Yeah, but you did hear Sony is saying that they've acquired enough materials to basically meet up with demand. So that would be interesting if suddenly we just start getting tons and tons of consoles shipping out. That would be happy time.
That would make the holidays real nice for PlayStation fans.
Wouldn't it though, if they could at least get that going before the holidays? That would make
me
a very happy camper. And then of course this was Lego week, I guess. August 1st. I literally can't believe how many new sets came out on August 1st. There must have been 25 or 30 of them.
Yeah, that's when their holiday push starts.
Yeah, I guess I didn't watch this as closely last year, but this year, holy smokes, there's a whole new set of Super Mario Lego and
And
Star
Luigi,
Wars
don't
Legos.
forget the Luigi.
Oh yeah, who could forget
Luigi in Lego form must have.
Green Mario? And even a Seinfeld set, which
That's
is
right.
very cool. I think that's one I might actually pick up because it looks awesome.
There's a new Friends 2-pack too. Well, it's not a
Yeah.
2-pack. It's both apartments. It's one set. That goes real well if somebody has the Central Perk set.
Yeah, absolutely. I need a room of just Lego. That would make me very happy.
We'll see if my wife watches this podcast. Here's a test. Last night I found out that the Lego piano, which is a really cool set,
super
I found out that it's getting really tough to find, and
Really?
stock's getting low on it. And I knew she wanted that. It's the first Lego set she's really shown interest in.
Yeah,
So I ordered it to surprise her last night.
very cool.
So
And you can actually
if she
play it.
finds out about the surprise, I know she's tuning into the podcast. If it shows up next week and she hasn't said anything, I caught her not watching the podcast. So I win either way.
It's a win-win situation here.
Absolutely.
And I think we should probably say a little something about the contest that is going on right now.
Yes.
So
it's a very personal contest to us.
Yeah, well, I think it would be. It's good, right?
Absolutely.
Ended up with an extra copy of Skyward Sword, which is a phenomenal game, and we're giving it away. So, follow, retweet, like the original tweet, and subscribe to the Rocky Mountain Gamers show.
Subscribe.
And we really appreciate that. And one lucky viewer will win the copy of Skyward Sword. So that's a fun game you're going to want to play. So
we're going to pick the winner before next week's show. So on Thursday or Friday, which day?
Whenever we're not swamped with work, Thursday or
Friday. Okay, so probably we'll pick it Thursday and shoot our next show Thursday so we can announce it. And I'll let you know right now. We have 417 subscribers.
Amazing. Thanks so much, guys.
That's a 1 in 417 chance. Even if we get another couple hundred, that's a 1 in 600 chance. You do not get lottery odds like that.
That is not bad at all.
That's a raffle at church kind of odds. So tune in, and it won't be our last giveaway. It seems that you guys like that, so we will try to do some more. And so it should be noted, you don't have to be a new subscriber. All subscribers get put into the contest. So anytime we do one of these where subscription is necessary, it goes to all subscribers. So the bigger we get, harder it'll be to win. Get in while the getting's good. Before we do anything else, let's go to today's Nintendo news.
All right.
Because it is the most recent news, and I liked it. Nintendo had their financial call, their quarterly call, and announced that they have now sold 89 million plus, I think it was 89.04 million Switch systems.
Amazing.
And, to put that in perspective, the Wii system over the course of its life sold 101 million. With the new SKU coming out, with the OLED model coming out in October, and the fact that the holidays are a hotter time for systems, assuming that Nintendo can supply those systems, which all indications are they can, they could pass the Wii's sales numbers this year, which is phenomenal, before the beginning of the 5th year of the system.
It's incredible. Again, the Switch is, of course, my favorite console.
Mine too.
Of all time. Well deserved. I'm happy to see people, so many people adopting it, because it does have that, it's not as powerful as a PS5, or it doesn't have the great online features or Game Pass like the Series X, but it has games, and the games are fun, and they're diverse, and all genres are covered, and it's just it's just a phenomenal system. I love it.
It is.
I'm
It's not going to scratch every need, you know, and there are people who love Halo and there are people who love Ratchet and Clank. And I am one of those people who
me too.
loves a lot of those games. And that's why I own other systems. But nothing can beat the Switch for versatility.
Absolutely. And it's still, in my opinion, the most fun you can have in a room with a bunch of people now that you can have a few people in the same room again.
Exactly.
So I still love the multiplayer Nintendo stuff. It's fantastic.
The local multiplayer can't be beat by any other system.
No, nothing else.
Because nobody else is paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Online multiplayer is still sketchy, but it's getting better. And
Getting there.
it's a quality system. And, you know, and people are going to watch this video and say, well, they're a couple of Nintendo fanboys. Yep, darn right we are.
I'm a video game fanboy. I'm not Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft. I love them all.
Exactly. I love good games. Nintendo gives me good games. I'm a Nintendo fanboy.
Absolutely.
And a Falcom fanboy and a Square Enix fanboy and an Insomniac fanboy, any developer that gives me quality.
The list goes on and on.
It does. And Nintendo has been killing it for a while.
Yeah. And it's funny, I haven't seen the old Nintendo Prince Money meme show up yet with the Switch. I'm still waiting for someone to make that so I can see
They
it.
should. They really should. So it's very possible that Nintendo will hit that goal of breaking the Wii's numbers. I'm not sure about the handhelds. If any of the handhelds have sold more than the Wii, because I know the handhelds sold really, really well. But I know that for their home systems, the Wii was it. They've also announced some software sales. While it's true that Super Mario Kart is the #1 selling Switch game at 37 million copies, Animal Crossing, which just finished its first full year, is #2 with 33.89 million copies. And it did not have the extra luxury of being a pack-in game with a lot of systems sold. Mario Kart was a very popular bundle with the Switch, and there was a point in time when you couldn't get a Switch unless you bought the Mario Kart bundle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is safe to call Animal Crossing the #1 standalone Switch game, since it's not been offered in a bundle. Even with the Animal Crossing system, it wasn't offered in a bundle.
Yeah,
they didn't give you the game. They just gave you a cool system.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Are you still playing Animal Crossing at all, Lee?
Oh yeah, I pick it up every chance I get. Basically, I feel grateful to live in a world where Animal Crossing is very nearly the #1 selling game on an incredibly almost 100 million console selling console. When it was first released for when I first picked it up for the GameCube, it was unheard of, and it was a big risk, I hear, by Nintendo to kind of give it a shot. I mean, translating it is just a mammoth, localizing is just a huge task, and here it is, just killing it in sales. I love it. I love that is a thing, and I love being able to pick it up 2-3 years later and see where my villagers are and how many weeds I have to pull and whatnot. Crazy.
Roaches in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I love that game, and I hope Nintendo continues to support it. And it sounds like they're going to. There's new content coming out pretty quick here, free content.
Yes.
It sounds to me like Nintendo.
And it sounds like there could be a big fall update.
Yeah, and I think they're going to keep going. Like, I think we're going to see updates, as long as it keeps selling, essentially.
Well, let's go from Nintendo news, which is their sales numbers primarily, to Nintendo rumor.
Mm-hmm.
So, disclaimer: everything following about Nintendo is a rumor, and we didn't make it up, but it's what's been circulating, and that's 2 Nintendo online presentations are being rumored, one for August, one for September. August, people are expecting to see a Nintendo Nindies
Yes.
presentation. And they're pointing towards a couple of things with that. Primarily, Axiom Verge just had an update on the eShop. Axiom Verge 2 had an update on the eShop. And the Switch version of World War Z was just dropped with a fall date. Now, that's what they said, fall.
Right. So somewhere in there.
But it would be likely that a game like that, they'd announce the exact date on the Indies presentation. So it seems like some things are being updated. Wouldn't be surprised. We haven't seen an Indies presentation in quite a while.
Yeah, and they do usually do one every August. So I mean that pretty much lines up.
If Nintendo's getting back into its swing, which is what people are thinking they're trying to do, we could see that in August, and then a full direct in September. Every September, Nintendo does some kind of presentation. Even last year, we got something. It was either a partner showcase, or is that when they dropped the Mario news for the Mario 35th?
I'm trying to think back, but the last 2 years have been such a blur.
It's true. I mean, but there was something.
I'm going to say something and it's not going to be true. So I should probably do some research to remember.
I'll put it on the screen what they did. I'll put it on the screen. But Perfect. They did something last year. And in 2019, 2018, 2017, since the Switch launched, those 3 years, we got a full Nintendo Direct.
Nice. Wow.
In September.
I am really
chances are the rumors are correct. Now, not necessarily the rumors of what's going to be in these presentations, which the rumors range everything from we'll see the new Super Smash Brothers character, which makes sense. We're getting down to the last one, and we'll see details on the Animal Crossing update. We'll get a lot more information about Metroid Dread about a month before it comes out.
Yeah, they usually do that.
But there's a lot they can show us. It's being speculated we won't see much of Breath of the Wild 2 again for a little bit. We won't see that in the next one.
That makes sense.
I'm guessing, though, they'll give us something for next year that we haven't seen yet, because they usually do.
I'm hoping for some Xenoblade anything again, but that's me. I'm always hoping for some Xenoblade anything.
Anything from Monolith Soft. I'll take something new from them too.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Because they're working on something and you know it.
Oh yeah. That's been confirmed. Just nobody knows what. So we are overdue from something from Monolith. There's a really good chance that we'll see some other port information. I'm hearing buzz that Capcom is readying a Resident Evil game. I would guess if they're doing that, it's probably either the 2 or 3 remake, or maybe they'll announce the Resident Evil 4 remake and that'll come to Switch too. As
long as it's not another cloud game, it feels like when it's not powerful enough to run on the Switch, it's just a cloud game, and that's made me kind of upset with some of the more recent Switch announcements in that sense.
But at least it's putting the games on Switch, right?
It's putting the games on Switch, but I would love to see them run on Switch, even if they're pared down a little bit, I
would too, but with some games you take what you can get, and if they were to do like a game, if they were to try to bring Village over, they'd have to do it as a cloud game.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So it seems like we don't have a lot of releases this month from Nintendo. There's no major August release, but we are getting a lot of Nintendo news this month. And I think that's going to continue into the holidays.
And they're padding it out with some free content, which who doesn't like free content? There's some Animal Crossing content coming out.
Yeah.
There's the new Mario Golf content, I think was out today.
I'm not sure. I know it's coming.
Yeah, like that was announced, and there's new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, fairly sizey chunk for Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's just released. That was really nice.
Yeah.
And that seemed to kind of come out of nowhere.
Totally. Yeah. As good announcement. Again, I love free content. Who doesn't like free content?
Yeah, makes you feel better about the $60 or $70 you spent on a game.
Yeah. Right.
So, well, let's move on to a few other interesting pieces in the news. PlayStation has some nice indies coming out.
They went on kind of a, they do this every once in a while where they do, X indie games coming to PlayStation or whatever. And they're all actually super interesting today. You've probably maybe played a lot of them already on Xbox or Switch, but games like Carrion, which is super, super fun. I still have
Carrion's a great game.
Yeah, that's super cool. A Short Hike. I don't know if you've played A Short Hike.
I haven't yet. Saw it when it was coming out for the Switch, but it's kind of in the perpetual backlog.
You should. It only take you a couple hours, a few hours to get through it. It's worth just one night firing it up and going through it.
Nice.
It is a very cool, relaxing, chill game. You'll love it.
I like a chill game once in a while.
Absolutely. That's coming to PlayStation. Axiom Verge 2. I think we already knew that was coming to PS4 and PS5. So
I
they
think
did
so too.
They did a little more info about that today. Oxenfree 2, we Lost Signals. We knew that was also coming. They talked about that a little more. And then I think what was kind of an interesting one was Soul Cresta. And I think that's, again, I don't know a whole lot about it, but there's a history there, I think, just from the brief snippets I picked up on it. But
and
I
that's
think
from Platinum Games.
I think so, and I think it's like a shoot 'em up that
Cool.
they've been talking about forever, and finally it looks like that's coming to PlayStation as well. I need to do a bit more research into that, but some pretty solid looking indie announcements today on the PlayStation. So I mean that's cool, because I had been hearing that indies weren't super happy with the way the PlayStation was going lately. So I mean these are some pretty big ones, so it's interesting.
Yeah, they haven't found a lot of attention since the 5 launched. They've been they being Sony. Sony's been concentrating on the more flashier games.
So it's nice to see them doing the promotions again for the
right, right, and they need to. You got to support the little indie games, and some of the best games that come out are the little indie games. I mean, the number one game of the year from last year was Hades.
Yeah, what a phenomenal game!
Which is now playable on other systems.
So, yeah, I'm rebuying it on PS5 just because I love it so much.
Absolutely. And we found out that the Street Fighter V update coming is going to be the final character for Street Fighter V. It's going to be Luke, but not the Luke we want. There are no lightsabers, which bums me out. And then they're going to put Street Fighter characters in Fortnite.
Yeah, with Guile, and Guile is the hair that seems to just go on and on. Every time there's a new characterization of Guile, his hair just gets bigger, and it's up there this time.
How can what I don't understand, I don't play Fortnite. So if somebody's a Fortnite fan and wants to explain to me why it's as big as it is, I mean, I understand the gameplay and I checked it out a little, but okay, Fortnite is the hottest thing ever sometimes. And they're putting Guile and Cammy in it. Cool. Around the same time, they're putting in Ariana Grande, the singer.
Oh, yes.
I don't get it.
Okay, I'll explain Fortnite a little bit to you because I have 3 kids and they all play a lot of Fortnite. It's almost like the cool place to hang out occasionally for kids. It seems to go up like kind of in waves where suddenly like everyone's playing Fortnite and then no, Fortnite is not cool. And then everyone's playing Fortnite again, then no, it's not cool. And it actually seems to depend on what's in the next season of it. So if the current season is cool, then it gets popular again at school, and then everyone kind of hangs out and plays Fortnite. And then if it's not, well, then it kind of goes by the wayside. But it's neat. Like it's almost think of it like when we used to hang around arcades and like pump quarters into like Street Fighter and whatnot, and it was kind of a social thing as well. Fortnite's kind of a social thing for the kids now. They kind of all get together somehow. They coordinate with their phones and whatnot, and they all meet up in a match, and they do teams or whatever they do. And they hang out. You know, like they dance and show off their dances, and like it's a really interesting way of playing games. It's online social, I guess, which is what makes it popular.
I can see it, but I don't get it.
No, you and I would not.
Because I would tell them kids to get off my lawn.
That's right. We're too old for that. But
I'm so well. When you talked about pumping quarters in an arcade machine, you said Street Fighter, and in my head I saw Pac-Man. So even you and I have a little gap there.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, I remember pumping quarters into Pac-Man. I remember pumping quarters into Pong.
To be fair, I remember pumping quarters into Pac-Man, but that's
one of my. But it was sitting next to the Street Fighter.
Yeah, that wasn't at lunchtime in junior high or something. So it was when I was a little younger than that, I guess.
I still remember it was the summer between junior high and high school for me that Donkey Kong came out, and 7-Eleven became the coolest place on earth for about 6 weeks.
Awesome.
Any quarters we could get, we would go down, get the biggest slushy possible, Slurpee, registered trademark, 7-Eleven. We would get the biggest Slurpee possible and just play Donkey Kong.
Sweet.
And by the end of that period, most of us could go in with $2, one for the Slurpee, one for the machine, and we could make that $2, you know, that dollar of quarters that each of us had, 4 or 5 of us, go the entire afternoon.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, not that, you know, I'm no pro Donkey Kong player. I'm no Steve Wiebe, but we did okay in the day.
I was gonna say you're better at Donkey Kong than I am.
I used to be able to get through a couple sets of screens before I was completely dead.
Nice.
So, well, it's that time again. We talked about what we used to play: Street Fighter, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. What are you playing this week?
I am terrible this week and actually not playing anything. And again, I this week too, I'm going to blame it on anime again. We finally finished up all of Demon Slayer, and we watched the movie, and now there's no more, but the kids still wanted to watch some anime. We've been promising that we might let them watch Attack on Titan eventually, because it's
so dark,
pretty graphic, and it's pretty dark, but the kids are getting older, and we're like, they're showing themselves as being mature. So we're like, you know what? Let's try an episode of Attack on Titan. And then it's just Attack on Titan every spare we have with the family now. So until Attack on Titan's finished, I may very well end up not playing anything at all. But the good news is I don't think it's going to take us very long to get all the way through Attack on Titan. So it's a fantastic anime, a little dark. I'm not sure if it's the most responsible parenting move, but darn, it's the one we made. So here we go.
You should have maybe gone with Persona 5.
Oh man,
the anime is a lot of fun.
I bet it is. I still haven't watched the anime for that.
Yeah, I started it. I haven't finished it.
Yeah, well, it's big, I think, too, right? Tons of episodes.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
What are you playing now?
I am still playing Zelda. It is a big game.
Yes, it is.
And I finished Final Fantasy 1 in Pixel remasters.
So jealous.
It's so good. There are going to be people who don't like it because it doesn't have absolutely everything that the subsequent releases did.
Oh, with the Souls ones, like the ones on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, exactly. These are pixel remasters of the original games.
Right.
And so if you like your Final Fantasy with added content, this might not be for you. If you want your Final Fantasy as these games originally were, with better graphics and such better sound
No, man.
than these are for you. And for me, it's been really nice just dialing in and playing it the old school way. And you get surprised because you're used to these games now. You know, a Japanese role-playing game, you're used to a game where it takes you 3 hours to get to the title screen.
Yeah.
And, you know, an hour into Final Fantasy and I already have a ship. So it's a little different.
That's how we rolled
but
back
it's
then.
fun. It's true. That's exactly it. It's like you left the town, you crossed the bridge, you beat up some guys, you're now level 9 and you have a ship. You can go anywhere. Yay. It was a more compact experience.
So tell me though, the original Final Fantasy 1 on the NES was a challenging game. Have they? And then I remember they basically balanced it a lot to be a lot easier for on the PS1 and on the Game Boy Advance. Where does the challenge level in this one stand?
You know, you got to grind.
Yeah, is it original,
And,
old school NES hard?
you know, that's hard for me to say because I don't remember how hard it was back then.
If you
But
were
it's not a piece of cake.
okay,
It is not a piece of cake. You have to. I found that early on. I went into took my party into the first tower for the first boss fight and just got annihilated. The thing is, grinding's kind of fast.
okay.
I went from level 3 to level 7 in 20 minutes, and then I went back and won.
So that sounds to me
So,
like they may have it's a little better balanced than the original.
yeah, maybe a little bit better balanced, but it's not a cakewalk.
Right. Perfect. That's exactly what I want it to be, actually.
So yeah, you'll have to do a little bit of grinding. You'll have to do that. But if you're a fan of the music of Final Fantasy, got to get the games because it's fully orchestrated.
Oh man.
And it's weird to see because it's still the pixel art. It's beautiful pixel art, but it's still the pixel art. And then just the music kind of rushes over you.
Well,
So it's a great experience.
Square Enix needs to give me that on the Switch, or the Steam Deck needs to come out, and then I'm all over that.
Absolutely. So those are what I'm working on and trying to decide what the next game in my queue is going to be, and I think it's going to be Scarlet Nexus.
Ooh, I've heard such good things.
I played a little. I did a stream for charity, and I did about 3-4 hours of Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, it looked cool
on my PC, which the company was nice enough. Bandai Namco was nice enough to send me a PC code, and then I promptly went out and bought it for PS5.
Incredible.
So I could play it on my giant screen and really do that. So even though I got a free code, I went and bought it again just so I could play it where I want to play it.
And see, that tells me that speaks to the quality right there.
Yeah, it was just it's really beautiful, but it's also really different.
That's wonderful. I'm not
good action. It's like the action is very reminiscent of a Platinum game. And but the aesthetic is pure JRPG.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
I have a copy sitting right here next to me too, thanks to really bizarre Walmart sale, but I will take it, and I can't wait to play it.
There you go. So, well, I think that'll do it for this week. It's a little light week, and we like it that way sometimes, so we can play more games or watch more anime.
That's right, more anime time.
So if anybody has any comments for the episode, please put them below. Let us know what you're playing. Let us know what you're watching. Let us know what's in your backlog. The backlog.
The eternal backlog.
Yes, I do not think you'll ever see an episode of Rocky Mountain Gamers where the backlog is not mentioned. So
happen every time.
But until next week, I'm Mark. That's Babz, and we really appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks so much, guys.